Right, time for another video about which characters from Thomas and Friends survived. Except, it's not really Thomas and Friends. Since my last videos, I've had requests to cover characters exclusively from the Railway series books, which Thomas was adapted from, so I'm more than happy to oblige. I have not actually read much of the Railway series myself, so a lot of these are completely new characters to me. I'll be learning as much while making this as you will be, hopefully, while watching it. I'm going to try and make sure everything is accurate this time, so hopefully there'll be no mistakes. Although comments correcting me do seem to help the algorithm somehow, so it's a win-win scenario I think. I'm not going to include characters from proprietary materials like the Island of Sodo book, just those who appeared in the actual Railway series. There are engines who have names but don't really have much of a face or personality to speak of, but I'll include most of these anyway since they made an appearance. Anyway, onto the video. Let's see who was scrapped and who survived. 1020 was based on the LNER J15, which were then reclassified by the GER as the Y14. They were built between 1883 and 1913, and one survived. 10751 was based on the BR Class 127 diesel, built in 1959. There are still several in preservation. 8783 was based on the LNER 16 Class Cloud Hamilton, built between 1900 and 1923. None of them survived into preservation, although there are plans to build a replica with the same number as the Railway series engine. Ada, Jane and Mabel were based on the Taliesin Railway carriages 11, 12 and 13. They entered service at the Taliesin Railway in the 50s and still work there today. Adams was based on the LSWR 415 class, specifically number 488, which was built in 1885. It still survives today. Agnes, Ruth, Jemima and Lucy are based on the Taliesin Railway's coaches 1 to 4, and Beatrice was based on the first Guards van. They were built between 1866 and 1867 and still survive today. Albert is based on the FR Class J1, built in 1891. None survived. Awdry, who is clearly based on someone familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it, was based on the GSWR 403 class, built in 1915. All of them were scrapped. Bear was based on the BR Class 35, which were built between 1961 and 1964. 4 of them were preserved. The Big City engine was based on the LMS Patriot class, built between 1930 and 1934. They were all scrapped, although a replica is being built named Unknown Warrior. Bluebell and Primrose are based on the real-life Bluebell and Primrose, a pair of SECR P-class locomotives built between 1909 and 1910. They both survive. D5501 was based on the BR Class 31, built between 1957 and 1962. There are still a few of them left. Class 52 is based on the BR Class 52. They were built between 1961 and 1964. 7 of them were preserved. D2A2 and Old Stuck Up were based on the BR Class 40, built between 1958 and 1962. 7 of them were preserved. D5701 was based on the BR Class 28 Kobo, built between 1958 and 1959. 1 survived. I'm going entirely off what the Thomas Wiki says here, but Percy's Friends were likely based on the Fowler 3Fs, which were built between 1924 and 1931. 9 of them were preserved. Captain Baxter was based on the real-life Captain Baxter, built in 1977. It still exists. Catherine was based on Snowdon Mountain's number 4 coach. It was dismantled in 2012. Cora was based on the Corus Railway brake van that still exists today on the Taliesin Railway. Cromford was based on the real-life Class 75, number 2650, which was built in 1880 and still exists. Culdee was based on Snowdon, the number 4 engine in the Snowdon Mountain Railway. It was built in 1896 and still exists. Diesel 199, also known as Spam Can, was based on the BR Class 46, built between 1961 and 1963. A small amount still survive. Diesel 31120 is based on the BR Class 31, built from 1957 to 1962. Many of them were preserved. Frank is based on Perkin, who works on the Ravenglass and Eskdale Railway. It still runs today. Awdry was based on Snowdon Mountain Railway's Ladas, built in 1895. Awdry's fate in the story was based on the real-life story of Ladas, which derailed and fell down a mountain and was destroyed. Isabel and Dulcie are based on BR Hawksworth auto coaches. 15 of them were preserved. Ivo Hugh was based on the Taliesin Railway's Tom Rold, which was built in 1991, making it possibly the youngest engine on this list. Ginty is based on an LMS 3F, nicknamed the Ginty, built from 1924 to 1931. 9 were preserved. Pug was based on an LMS Kitson 040, built from 1932 to 1954. None survive today. Jock was based on Northern Rock, from the Ravenglass and Eskdale Railway, built in 1976. It still works there today. Neil was based on the Nielsen 040 box tank. None survived. Patrick was based on Padan, the Snowdon Mountain Railway's No. 6 engine, built in 1922. It still survives today. 16 and Wilbert were based on Hunsford Austerity 060, built between 1943 and 1964. About 70 of them have been preserved. Stanley was based on the Baldwin class 1012D pannier tank, built between 1916 and 1917. Several still exist in preservation. The Works diesel was based on a BR class 47, built between 1962 and 1968. 32 were preserved, and there are about 30 still in working use. Victoria was based on a Furness Railway second class coach. At least one survived into preservation, if this is the same one. Wilfred was based on Withver, the Snowdon Mountain Railway's No. 3 engine, built in 1895. It still works today. I'm pretty sure that's it for covering which characters from each era survived. I've done the Railway series characters, I've done the Classic series characters, and I've also done an expanded one including CGI characters. I'm pretty sure that's everyone, so I'm not really sure what else I can squeeze out of this, but maybe I'll find something. Thank you for watching. I really appreciated the suggestions and feedback I've gotten from these videos. If you like this, please like, comment and subscribe, and stick around for more. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.